Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. Who knows?
Good day.
Who knows
Coming into
what's
part
gonna
two. If
happen?
you stuck around for the whole video on the last one, you'll understand why we're still laughing.
Yeah. Go look at the other video where we're wearing the same things and
Exactly.
it's interesting.
It is.
Very interesting. Uh-oh. I hope I have enough battery to get through this.
Me too. We're just going to do what we can do.
Okay. If I disappear, you'll know it's over. So I'll just preface this. Thanks for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev. And
Yes.
and we'll see you next time, but keep listening in case I disappear.
Yeah, just in case. Just in case. If I don't see you again, have a magnificent week. No, we'll just keep going.
Exactly. Anyway,
it was interesting over the weekend. One of my gals said to me, she says, I heard something from this reading or whatever, and they talked about when you're laying in bed in the morning before you even get out of bed, just smile. Just lay there and smile without even saying anything, and then recognize how your body changes, right? Just not even thinking something, not even having expectations about what the day should look like or any of that stuff, but just to lay there and smile. And then see if you notice a difference. I don't think I've ever typically I don't lay in my bed and smile. I mean, not when I'm getting up in the morning because I'm like, God, is it really already time to get up? These dogs, so it's like these things go through my head and it's. But on the other side of that, I can blame the dogs, but I really do appreciate being out to see the sun coming up over the hill. And I like all that stuff. I enjoy it. So I also like my sleep.
yeah. Yeah, you shift when you lay there for a moment before getting up, you shift your energy. And I remember back in the day when I had so much anger and shame and guilt all wrapped up in my package that when the alarm went off, it was dread. It was, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to face this day. I don't want to face these people. What if they find out the X whatever about me? What if they know these things? Like it was just the moment the alarm went off. And I had to shift that. The way I shifted that part was to practice being in the present moment. So it was talking or thinking my way through everything I was doing. Okay, well, alarm went off, not excited, but shutting off the alarm. I'm moving the blanket. I'm sitting up. I'm putting my feet on the floor and I'm walking to the bathroom, right? So I would just talk myself or think myself through the entire process, taking a shower, brushing my teeth, putting my makeup on, doing my hair, like all the way to work, like all the things until I got to work. And then I was in my job. Then I was busy doing and thinking of something else. But it's in those moments that are so automatic that the subconscious mind is taken over. And you take a shower, think about all the thoughts you have during a shower. Like they just wheel all the way around, right? Well, my thoughts were not good from the moment I woke up until I got to work and getting my mind busy with something else. So that's how I got to be present. And then once I got good at that, then I started doing the whole, projecting or manifesting or thinking a future or visualization or thinking the how I would like to see my life type of thing and start practicing that because I wasn't a future thinker. I was like, this is what's right here. This is what has my attention. I can't see past this. And now it's fun in the morning to just, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I get to do today. I'll look at what I get to do. So tonight, I'll look at my calendar and see what I have tomorrow. And then when I wake up tomorrow, I'll be like, oh, okay, these are things I get to do today. And it's a whole different energy. So whether you lay there and smile, some people will just lay there and meditate. I know my mentor, she says she lays there and that's when she calls in her angels for the day. Like everybody, people have different processes. It's just what's going to set you up for projecting or having the energy or the frequency, the vibrational frequency of what you want for that day.
I like it.
Yeah.
I do. Because it's all that's so important, and really it does bring you right present and right now. When you're if you're focused on smiling, you're not focused on anything else. And I don't know if anybody else has noticed it, but when we go into our head and we're so lost in these thoughts, and we are so missing every single thing that's right out in front of us right now. Everything. There's been times that Freeman said to me, "Welcome back." And so I know what that means, is because I've been gone maybe for several days, because I might be in a mental headspace. I might be, I mean, God, I could be thinking about the past, I could be thinking about the future, but I'm not right now in this moment. And then in this moment is where everything's happening. That's where everything is. And it's like otherwise we're in an old story, or we're trying to create a story that's not even there yet, and you know, or that we're actually manifesting at that moment when we're creating, when we're in that space of fear and worry and all that stuff. We're creating our future, we're creating our now, and it's like that's not what we want to do. So as soon as we notice that we're doing that stuff, it's just to come right into right now. That's really that's where all of our power is when they say that. And I've heard that a million times, but you don't, and everybody else is probably going to hear this a million times too in their lives, and then they're all of a sudden going to realize, I really understand what that means, because I've been that person that's been gone, or I've been the person. Let's just say that I went to my daughter's house and I feel like that rush of energy, like I need to hurry up and get on to the next place and do the next thing. That means I'm not enjoying my daughter, I'm not enjoying my grandchildren, I'm not enjoying anything in this moment, because my mind's already in somewhere else, right? Like all of a sudden it's going to just launch me forward, and that's not the way it works. And then we put all this anxiety and this stress on ourselves to be at a certain place at a certain time. But and during the whole process, it was always about being right now. It was always about enjoying right now. God, are we going to get on the deathbed and be like, man, I wish I would have enjoyed right now? It's crazy. It's crazy, but that's how I've lived. That was me. My whole life I was in, you know, I remember my mom is like taking us to school or doing something. I just remember the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, right? It really doesn't. And I'm not saying, I'm not putting a blame on it, because I would have in the past, I would have put a blame on it. But I see where patterns came from, and it was just the teachers that were around me at that time. That's all that it was. Until I decided I wanted more, until I had an asking for more. But instead, I jumped on that treadmill just along the way, same way my mom was doing it. That I did it the same exact way, until I recognized this isn't serving me. Until my daughter tells me about a story about, a child and stuff like that. And then the end of the story is like the mom's like, well, let's hurry up and go home. And she's like, Mom, I don't want to hurry up and go do anything. Can't we just go slow? And that's a good idea. Let's just walk home. Let's just take the time and walk home. So it's like it's those moments to recognize that kind of, God, there's such subtle little things that show up for you. And I feel like I know it's from spirit when that kind of stuff happens, because it's so gentle. And guess what? We can still get it without having a freaking brick over the head, or the accident, or the spouse dying, or you name it, whatever trauma you want to pick. It doesn't have to be that way, but mostly it has to that's how it gets our attention, right? Otherwise, we're not paying attention until you get to be like us, like, oh, did you see the time? Did you see that sign on the door? Did you see that rabbit? Did you see that bird? Did you see, like, everything is a message now.
Yeah.
The door fell off. There's a message there. Like, there's a message for everything. There is. So it's for me, there is. So it's an awesome place to be in. I'm probably more lighthearted. I feel lighter in body. I feel like I can laugh more. I smile more. Um, I do still get serious, but my serious isn't as serious as it used to be. I can, it's like all these things, and it's like when I stop and pay attention to my body, it feels so much better. It doesn't feel like all this tight, stuck area. I still feel some stuck areas. I do, like in my solar plexus. I'll be having conversations and I'll feel like I gotta breathe, because I feel like there's like a lasso or some sort of belt around that area. Like, and nobody's doing it to me. It's what I've been doing to myself.
Yeah.
It's how I've been constricting myself, holding back my power, but trying to give out my power at the same time. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I have done that. I've recognized it in myself. And so I stop, because of right now, right? Being in the now, because I stop and I recognize it. I pay attention to how things are feeling in my body. I'm paying attention when you're giving me advice, or you're telling me something, or you're telling me a story. I'm seeing, how does this vehicle feel when I'm receiving this information? My favorite is the goosebumps. I mean, it just is, because it's so obvious. It's
Yeah.
so you can show someone else like, look, I just got the goosebumps. Like it's so perfect,
Right.
really, in so many ways. But it's gotten to be even more extensive than that because the more that you tune into that stuff, now when goosebumps start coming up, it could be you could have a full conversation and be almost in that same state the whole time while you're receiving this information or you're giving information. So it's like it's such a different place, but we wouldn't know that if we didn't connect to right now. And then right now is connecting into the body.
Yeah. I was getting frustrated, experiencing frustration quite a bit recently, and I recognize so that was a step up from being angry all the time, right, years ago, to now just frustration. So I get frustrated, and then it has to do with, for the most part, of feeling like I should, right, should be further along with my life and my finances and all the things than what I am. And I took the moment and I'm like, wait a minute. And I looked in the mirror and I said, listen, I am so proud of you for where you are because of where you've been. Remember the days, remember how you used to be, and look where you're at now. And look how amazing that is, right? So I had to give myself a pep talk. And I did that over a course of a few days in the morning before I would leave my bedroom, and I would look in the mirror and tell myself these things and just be like, you're doing great and I'm so proud of you. And it just shifts everything, and then I would go about my day. So we need those reminders, even if it's just a little bit better than what you were. You have to acknowledge that and give yourself kudos.
100%. I 100% agree with you on the daily, not just every once in a while, like on
Yeah,
the daily. Because, and it's not from an egoic place at all. It's from a loving nurturing. You're nurturing that inner child of yourself because that inner child of yourself may not have gotten that response from somebody else in the past. Right.
right. Yeah,
So it's like you're growing from that. You know, I heard something the other day that I listened to this person that channels Saint Germain, and she's talking about how we've all grown up, even going through traumas, you know, we've grown up through our traumas and stuff, and still thinking someone's going to come save you. That still waiting for Mr. Right or Mrs. Right or the knight in shining armor or whatever it is, your president, your whatever, to come and save you. That's going to save everything for you. And it's like she said, Saint Germain said that nobody's going to save you. You've got to save yourself. And that kind of goes along with what
true.
you just said a second ago.
They say that in business too. The business
Because you got
teachers,
to,
they're like, nobody's going to save you. If
no,
you
it's
want, if
you.
you want financial freedom, you need to work for it and do it.
Exactly, exactly. If you want this, you've got to do it. Someone else isn't going to do the work for you.
Right.
It's just not the way that it works. And it's like, but not, Cinderella, you've got, the Sleeping
Yeah.
Beauty, you got all these things that someone comes, the ideal, the training, I feel like in a lot of ways was that somebody was going to come save you. Now, we have people that come save us. We have angels and we have all that kind of stuff, but it's on a daily. Like if you're thinking that someone, because when I heard that, I was like, huh, I could kind of feel within my vessel that kind of resonated with me. It resonated with me as truth, but I could also see how I've done the same thing myself. I
Yeah.
have felt that same way that, waiting for someone to come rescue me, waiting for a check to show up, like something's supposed to rescue me instead of me going out and making that step. So now I've gotten to the point where I'm listening to spirit and I'm like, spirit, take the wheel. But man, I hope you guys know what you're doing because the stuff you're guiding me to is a little bit confusing to me right now. But I'm going to go ahead and trust and have faith and keep moving forward and do those things.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing as praying to win the lottery. Well, no, it's one in how many millions of people that you win the lottery. What if you learned money management? What if you became best friends with money? What if you start paying attention to where you're spending your money? And right, it's learning how to have a relationship with money in a healthy way. Because even
Yeah.
that, if you are feeling lack in money, that is an unhealthy relationship with money. And then you look at your other relation, like actual physical relationships, and how many of them are unhealthy. Like it's all
Yeah.
mirroring each other. And when you start to shift your relationship with money and being better with it, then other things shift and change in your life as well. So yeah, the lottery isn't even the thing that's going to save you, because the studies have shown that people who have won the lottery have, oh, see, my battery's about ready to go, that they're worse off after they've won the lottery than before. Like they get even deeper debt. So I don't know what to tell you. No, yeah, nobody's coming to save you.
Money management, save yourself. And if you have questions about money and relationships with money, listen to Kyle Cease. He's got all kinds of great stuff, right?
That's right.
I mean, we do too, but Kyle Cease has a lot of, that's part of he's got great messages that come along with all that stuff and the relationship with money. So it's great.
Yeah. So with that, thanks for listening. Because my battery's going to be out in just a second.
Okay.
Tea time with Amy and Bev. You heard it from us. So
that's right.
Have courageous conversations, be brave, talk to other people, share our resources. We're on YouTube, Facebook, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Spotify, Spreaker, and all the things. So be sure to share not only us, but other podcasters that you listen to, or books, or whatever that might be. So
yes,
with that, thanks for hanging out.
Great. Peace out.
Gotta go. I gotta find the stop button. There we go.